Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to talk about this issue about sessions, about training itself as defined by way of those who identify as force-free, balanced dog trainers. When you get into this whole thing about packages and numbers of sessions, even get into this whole board and train situation, understand that when you're dealing with this idea, okay, that training is a learning-based exercise, which I do not subscribe to, okay? I approach training for what it is. It's an intervention. Therefore, it changes the whole dynamic when it comes to training itself, okay, to get into numbers of sessions. Because here's the thing to really think about. I encourage people to really think about this, okay? If training is really the way that I say that it is, which it is, okay, it's an intervention, okay? You're dealing with a relationship problem, okay? It's about, relationship. And the core ingredients I talk about, influence and control. Therefore, every situation is different, but only in the sense in terms of where you're at in the relationship. So therefore, training is not defined by numbers, a set number of sessions that way. It can't be. It's as you go, okay? Because some people, right, in terms of, change itself, as it happens through a process where the core ingredients are there, typically it could take maybe 2 sessions, maybe 3 sessions, could be longer. Okay, but it's different that way. Okay, it's not like 10 sessions for whatever amount of money, which all these trainers do. Understand, all these trainers out there, right, have this thing about a month of training or packages. It's a joke. It's a joke because they're motivating these dogs to respond using treats. Okay, it's a permissive bribery-based approach. It's all based on appearances, okay? So it's about the sit down, come and stay, right? But not based on actual change in many cases, okay? It's just about responses. It's just like bribery. So to even define change itself, it's a total joke. It's superficial. It's like, a picture that you're wanting, right? It's like a picture, but the picture itself is fake. Right, it's just like, so you could have an aggressive dog doing a great sit for a treat or a down, right? And you're using, motivating agents to do that. You could have an aggressive dog and you could have 10 sessions and the dog's still aggressive. I mean, really think about what I'm saying. Like, it's, okay, if that's how you're defining change by way of just superficial response, doesn't mean the relationship's actually getting better. So, but then these trainers, what they do is they're just so focused on motivating responses that way. They just say, well, I can, it might take 10 sessions to get that dog to, do a sit or do a down for, based on treats. But they don't actually, there's no depth at all. It's just like cookie cutter stuff that isn't about real change at all. So in their mind, it's like, okay, this is how they do it. And this is why you get into the board and trains, okay? Well, if you go, and here's the thing to think about, if you go beyond 2 weeks, okay, if I take your dog, that's why I stop it at 2 weeks, because there has to be, it's about your relationship with your dog. There has to be that transition, that intersect point where the spotlight needs to shine on the relationship with your dog. Okay, a dog can change for me at a very high level based on how I think, how I'm interacting, right? But that's no good to you if you're not changing and that dog goes back into their environment with you. It'd be like having taking a kid that's like selfish, spoiled, out of control, and send them to boarding school, right? And then thinking, okay, they're going to fix the relationship. Well, that's crazy talk, right? Because then, kid comes back with you, back in this, the problems that were generated through that relationship are still there. So understand that this is where, again, the board and training, and I've done board and training, but it stops at the 2 weeks. In fact, I transition it so that during the board and training process, the dog owner I really encourage them to show up at least twice, and then, to make sure that they're going into it with their eyes wide open, that they're changing, okay? I'm engaging a certain way. But these other trainers, okay, understand that when they're offering a board and train package, they're going beyond those 2 weeks, okay? They're going into 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then ask the question, what's their approach? What's their methodology? Treats, bribery, superficial response. It's a joke, and no wonder it all washes out for people. Or, you get to a place where you can never get those devices off those dogs. The remote collars, just like, because again, that's their mentality. Well, big deal, just leave it on the dog. Because they don't have answers that way. It lacks depth, so they'll just take what they can get. It's not about change to a point where remove the devices, get to a really good place with the dog, because the relationship's actually changing the right way. So again, all I'll say, my encouragement is really think about what's going on here. When I talk about training, it's not about, and that's really the good news of this system. It just means you're not going to spend a ton of money. You know, you might end up with maybe 2 sessions or 3 sessions, or even when I do a board train, I'm very careful with that. Like, you need to meet me first in person and see, okay, is this a good fit? Are you going to be involved in that process? And if it is a good fit, that's great. And again, it's been very successful for the right people and their dogs. But I'm careful. I'll say, you're better off doing, you know, some home sessions. Do it that way. You know, it's not about, you know, ripping people off, and that's what all these trainers are doing. They're just ripping people off. They don't care. It's a money maker. You know, board and train, if I extend, of course that's going to be a big money maker for me, but it's not about me. It shouldn't be about me that way. It's about you and your dog. So I'll just put it out there. This system of training, okay, is different that way, in a good way. You know, think about it. You know, do you honestly believe that, you know, when you have a relationship problem with your dog, it's a learning-based exercise, the way it's being marketed by these trainers? It's a joke. So again, you have questions, contact me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'm here to help dogs and owners the right way, okay? If you really care about people, if you really care about dogs, it's about the truth. And, you know, you want people to get to a better place, because people out there with their dogs, say with my service dogs or whatever, the best marketing is when people say, hey, you know, this is what I've experienced. Yeah, you know, this is where I'm at with the dog. And so that's what the system of training is about. Thanks for watching.